Welcome to Health and Self-Care Summit for Women, and I'm your host, Angie Spuzak, and I will be interviewing today Leann Forst. Hi.
Hi, how are you, Angie?
I'm good. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Leann Forst, and I'm a holistic health practitioner and certified essential oils coach. I have my own private practice in Frisco, Texas, and I help people get back to optimal health using nutrition, detox, supplement protocols, essential oil protocols, and lifestyle changes. And as a wife of a brain cancer survivor, I have a special passion for anti-cancer nutrition and protocols to help people to regain their health and through healing.
Great. So today we'll be talking about detox, right?
Yeah,
Detox
absolutely.
and hormones and how can we detox and what can we do to have a cleaner life and things like that. So I guess I would just jump right in, and I will ask you first, maybe, what are the top health issues that women come to you?
Right. So I specialize in family health and cancer coaching. So when women come to me, they're coming to me for anything from helping their own family get healthy to cancer for themselves or someone in their family, but also for weight management, hormone balance, and just some of them just want to get their vitality back. They are just dealing with fatigue and a loss of vitality, and they just want to feel better.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to say more about how detox impacts hormones and things like that? That would be, I think, a good question to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. So detox is really important. It's what I teach. It's really a basis of everything that I do for not only myself, my family, my husband's recovery, but also for my clients. And I'll start kind of from the beginning on why detox is so important. I mean, geez, all of our disease rates are going up, and people are now dealing with, autoimmune disease is 1 in 5 people, hormone balance. 80% of women are dealing with hormone imbalance now.
Mm-hmm.
Half of all adults have a chronic illness. Anxiety is the number one health issue. We didn't have this level of disease and chronic health issues 30 or 50 years ago. And so it really comes down to epigenetics. So a lot of people have heard of genetics, where you're born with a single gene disease like Down syndrome or a health condition like Down syndrome, and there's nothing that you can do about it. But with the area of study and the area of science now that they know about is epigenetics, where 95% of disease and chronic health conditions are determined by your diet, lifestyle, and environment. Okay, so that's big news, because that means that we can control and we can impact 95% of our health, right? Through nutrition, detox, and other lifestyle changes. And so what that all means is that essentially we know that we have detox organs: our skin, our lungs, our kidneys, our liver, our gastrointestinal tract are all detox organs. And they can handle a certain amount of toxins. They are meant to detox toxins from our environment. So for instance, our lungs detox pollutants and toxins from the air that we breathe. Our gastrointestinal tract is meant to take the toxins and detoxify from the foods that we put into our body. And then if the toxins make it past those, then our kidneys and our liver are meant to also be filtering organs, right? But in our modern day society, we are now, there's 100,000 chemicals and toxins in use today in modern day society. And the numbers keep going up. They're finding all different ways to use chemicals. And 80,000 of them have not been approved or proven as safe for human health.
Yeah.
And those are things that we're exposed to. And so, and again, they didn't have to deal with this level of toxicity. The air was cleaner back, 30 years ago, and our food was cleaner. We grew our own food. We didn't have the processed food. And so our detox organs are getting overloaded, and it's creating a toxic burden. And when you have a toxic burden, it's going to impact your DNA, your metabolism, your hormones, and your immunity. So everything, really, it impacts your whole health.
Yeah, I totally agree. I remember moving to the States and was like certainly exposed to so many different chemicals. We didn't have that much in Poland when I was growing up. Our food was totally organic and, we got everything from the farm and went to the farmer's market every day and nothing was sprayed. Nothing had any pesticides on it. But I think that this is all gone too. So
Yeah.
everywhere on the world, which is kind of, it's scary. And speaking about that, total burden, because people kind of like, I know of my clients that they tend to think like singularly. It's like, oh, a little bit of that is not going to hurt me. A layer of that is not going to harm me. But then when you like combine all of them together, that's when the problems start to occur.
Yes, that's exactly true. And people don't think about it. You're getting exposed to toxins in your drinking water. Okay, so say you filter your drinking water. Well, it's also your shower water, and your skin is your largest organ. People
Yeah.
think of their skin as a barrier to the outside world, but actually it's very permeable, and anything that you put on your skin goes immediately into your bloodstream and affects every cell in your body within 20 minutes. And so your skin is very important to think about when it comes to reducing your toxic burden. And so, not to mention our food. Our food is now sprayed with 15 billion pounds of pesticides. We're genetically modifying our food. Processed food, we're eating frankenfoods. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to get an image of what people used to eat, the fruits and the vegetables and the one ingredient foods that came out of the garden or off of a tree. And now if you picture people eating everything out of a box or a package, those are frankenfoods. Those are not real foods, right?
Yeah.
And our bodies are organic, natural living beings. And so those chemicals do not belong in our bodies. So the first thing that I always teach and educate on and help my clients with is to reduce their toxic burden.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Especially, working with women with hormones. And yeah,
Yeah.
I remember, I've never forget the day when I moved to the States and my friends took me to a grocery store and said, let's go, I'll show you the grocery store, right? And let's buy some food. And she's like, so there's a bread there, can you grab one? So I went over there and I'm looking and like, I pick up that bread and I'm touching it, right? I'm like, what is that? And I asked her again because I didn't speak English then. I'm like, can you ask the, the clerk that this is like the bread? And she's like, yeah, this is the bread. I'm like, but this is like a sponge and it has expiration date 6 months from today. I'm like, really, are we going to eat that? And it was just such a shock, for me. So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Like we kind of lost touch. We lost touch, I think, with how the kind of connection we had used to have to food. Now it's just like a big inconvenience. Like that's how I feel. I'm like, oh, we gotta eat, so we just grab something, whatever. So we don't starve and don't feel hungry.
Yeah, nobody cooks anymore.
Yeah,
Everybody needs to get back in the kitchen, and that's one of the big things is health, hormone balance, DNA, immune system, all of that. Being healthy as a big picture just takes more time, effort, and money. That's the bottom line.
yeah,
But what's the alternative? I mean, being sick takes time, effort, and money too. And so where would you rather pay for your health, right? I'd rather
yeah,
pay for it on the front end and be preventative. And so yeah, I agree. The preservatives and the nitrates and all of that in our food, not to mention the artificial dyes, artificial sweeteners, artificial colors
yeah.
that our kids are exposed to, all of
Just,
that plays a role.
oh,
So speaking of hormone balance, it's not just for women either. These kids, I get moms coming to me with these kids that have early puberty.
exactly.
Guess what? It's affecting them as well. I mean, when a 6-year-old starts having early puberty, there's a problem. That didn't used to happen. And it's the toxins that we're exposed to. But I have to say that she was on a mission and she was very motivated. And once she started my program, within 3 weeks, all signs of early puberty were reversed for her 6-year-old. So it
That's
can
great.
happen, and it's a
Wow.
real thing. You can balance your hormones naturally.
Yes. Um, so when I think about hormone balancing and toxins, like first thing what comes to my mind is liver. So what is the liver, and how that what kind of impact has on the hormones?
Okay, so like I said, there's detox organs, and when you are experience a toxic overload with these detox organs, it's going to throw off everything, including your hormone balance. So if you think about it this way, um, The liver is one of your main detox organs. It's a filtering organ, right, to filter toxins. But it does not have an outside chimney. It has to partner with the colon and the kidneys, okay? But when those are plugged up, then it's going to find other routes, other exit routes for those toxins. That's when you start getting respiratory issues or skin eruptions. And so it's going to try to get the toxins out of your body one way or the other. But I always say you have to love your liver, because your liver is a critical part of your health all the way around, including hormone balance.
Yeah, and there's liver detoxification pathways that they require certain nutrients. So if we not feed our body properly, we're not going to get those nutrients, and then the liver is not going to detoxify properly, right?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. And so nutrient malabsorption is a big deal. There's over, last I counted, 33 different diseases that are linked to nutrient deficiency. Okay. And so when you're eating processed foods, standard American diet, high sugar, frankenfood, you're not getting your nutrients, the nutrients that are invaluable to our health. And so you can only get those from real foods, right? And your liver, all of your organs depend on nutrients. In fact, 95% of Americans are deficient in minerals. People think of vitamins, but nutrients are actually minerals as well. And we're not getting the minerals that we need from our food supply. Even if you do eat healthy nowadays, our soils are depleted from the minerals that they used to have, our grandparents used to get. And I read somewhere that you have to eat like 36 apples today to equal the same nutrients as one apple 30 years ago. So that's kind of depressing, but you can still make changes. But every organ in your body, including your brain, depends on minerals to operate at their optimal function.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I myself struggle with actually not having enough good minerals, and it's been a battle for a couple of years, and I've been on the protocols and trying to bring them back up, and I just still, it's not budging much. So, it's just like a health is kind of like a journey. So
it is.
Like
there's no such thing as perfect health, that's for sure.
Yes, exactly. So I think that, it's worth to mention that the gut plays a very important role in detoxification. So what can you say about that?
So yeah, the gut being, depending on which scientific report you're reading, it can play anywhere from 80 to 95% of your immune system, depending on which, who you're following or what you're reading at the time for science. And so the gut is definitely the motherboard of your health. You have to take care of your gut. The gut, when it becomes, first of all, you have to take care of the toxicity, right? Because in our food, we're eating these toxins. And so you have to make sure that you're eating clean food. Secondly, you have to also balance the microbiome. The microbiome, the research on the microbiome has exploded over the last few years as being a very central part of your health, meaning that you have to look for a balanced gut flora. So to simplify it, we have good bacteria and bad bacteria in our gut. And when the bad bacteria outweigh the good bacteria through a toxic lifestyle, processed foods, sugar, refined carbohydrates, then that's when you have severe immune suppression, right? So you're always going to need it's an ongoing process, as is health, right? An ongoing process and a journey to replenish that good gut flora. And you could do that with probiotic foods such as pickles, sauerkraut, kombucha are great ones. But supplementation sometimes is necessary with people who have, health conditions that they're suffering from. And so a good quality, high quality probiotic is very helpful sometimes as well.
Yeah, and eating a lot of fermented foods, right?
Fermented foods. Yep.
Yeah, I was just totally raised on fermented food, and I was making this myself when I was a little girl. I remember we were making these big batches of sauerkraut in the barrels.
Yeah.
Like in the movie, I swear, it was so funny. And we were just the kids that were jumping in the barrel and like stomping with their feet, and it was so much fun. So we were
like, nobody knows what fermented foods are anymore.
I know. We had like, oh my gosh, we made everything, like beet kvass. We pickled everything. We made soups and stews with like sauerkraut, and it was just like a really like fun for kids actually.
Isn't it funny that we grew up that way, and a lot of the kids nowadays have no idea what that looks like? I grew up in Iowa, and we definitely lived off the land. We had a garden as big as most gymnasium floors. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously huge. It was like a 4-hour deal on a Saturday to try to take care of the garden. Or we had fruit trees, and we definitely hunted and fished for our food. And
Forage too.
yes, and so it was just so different from how kids are raised nowadays, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I feel very sad for kids right now. I mean, I just
Yeah,
was outside all day long,
yeah, me as well.
Yeah. So one more thing I want to mention about the detoxification, especially about the gut, that the gut has a special set of bacteria. It's called estrobolome. So it actually helps to metabolize the estrogen and remove them from our body. Because like if the gut and liver doesn't work properly, right? And so the estrogen is not removed from our body. So it's kind of recirculates. And then we have too much estrogen. Hence, a lot of women struggle with estrogen dominance, right?
That is exactly right. And not to mention that we have what's called xenoestrogens
Yep.
in our life that we're exposed to. Xenoestrogens being those chemical estrogens, those things that are going to add to the estrogen in our body, but in a chemical way, such as in personal care products,
Yeah.
right? And so personal care products with the phthalates and the parabens and all the chemicals that can lead to hormone disruption. Cleaning products, the chemicals. I mean, if you think about it, start piecing together and really doing a deep dive, we're exposed to these things on a daily basis from all angles.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you say, like, what would you advise to people, like give them some practical tips for detox that they can do it every day and it's not like complicated, like super simple?
So I always recommend you have to reduce your your toxic exposure first, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, reducing your toxic exposure, and the place that you can control the most is your own home. And so I start with personal care products because you're putting them on your skin. You're getting a direct exposure with personal care products and the xenoestrogens. And so really the big picture here is you're going from chemical-based everything, chemicals in your food, air, water, personal care products, cleaning products, to more plant-based, wholesome and healthier living. So really reading the ingredients, if you can't pronounce it or if the words in the
Yeah.
ingredients list is 14 letters long, it's probably a chemical. So going toward the chemical-based personal care products to plant-based, which is essential oil-based, things that you recognize like coconut oil, shea butter, and essential oils. Essential oils being the oils that are extracted from plants for health and wellness. And so personal care products, reducing your exposure, cleaning products, get rid of the Pine Sol and the Fabuloso or whatever you clean your house with, and even try making your own DIY all-purpose spray cleaner or shower cleaner. It's super easy and it takes seconds, and using essential oils in that way to reduce your toxic exposure. Once I stopped cleaning with chemicals way back when my son had asthma, we were trying to figure it out, his asthma went away. He was on medications, and they were told me that he would be on medications for the rest of his life. But all we did was detox his lifestyle from the chemicals, and he's 14 and a half and has been asthma-free ever since. And so it really does make an impact on your health. And then, so you're reducing your toxic exposure in your home. The next thing I would do is your indoor air. We now know that indoor air is 10 times more toxic than outdoor air. And so get rid of the Glade air fresheners, candles, and you can diffuse essential oils for that as well, which actually pull the toxins out of your air. So those are some ways to reduce your toxic
Not to
exposure.
mention about the laundry detergent and softeners and those drying sheets, right? Those are just so
Yes.
toxic.
Yes, exactly. Get some dryer balls and put a few
Yeah.
drops of the essential oils on there to make your laundry smell great. And then once you do that, really reducing your body burden is the next step. So it doesn't make sense to reduce your body burden and then keep getting exposed to all these toxins in your home. But reducing your body burden, and I really think that there's lots of different, like 100 ways you can detox, right? But some of my favorites are you can do a detox bath, okay? And there's lots of different ways to do detox baths, but because you're dealing with the skin, which is permeable, you can use Epsom salt, which has magnesium that's going to get in through your skin. Magnesium is very detoxifying. It actually is a chelator of heavy metals. You can also use essential oils. Many essential oils act as toxic binders for the body. You could also use infrared saunas, which I love, and
Yeah, me too.
really makes me feel great because they have found there are some studies that say that when you exercise and sweat, 3% of your sweat is toxins being released, where if you use an infrared sauna, it's somewhere between 23 and 26% of your sweat is actually toxins being released. So depending on really what the person's health condition and health goals are, I would write up a specified detox protocol. And then you could use supplements that are very powerful as well as essential oils to reduce that body burden.
Yeah, and I also like to do like a longer detox twice a year to just kind of remove all that gunk and just feel lighter and much better, when eating 100% organic. I'm trying to eat like 90% because sometimes you just can't find things, but like a couple times a year to do a longer detox is also, I think it's worth a try.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I use essential oil myself and I love them. What do you think that they have an impact on hormones?
Absolutely. So in a couple of different ways, really, you can impact the hormones directly. So there are essential oils. There are hundreds of different essential oils that come because there's all different kinds of plants, right? And each different oil or each different plant constituents affect the body in different ways for health and wellness. And there are essential oils specifically that help to support hormone balance. And some of my favorites would be clary sage, fennel, geranium, jasmine, magnolia are some of the few, as well as lavender. So those are some of the few. Yeah.
I like to use the ylang ylang too. There's something about that smell.
Yes, it's very calming. Yeah, that's a great one.
So how do you use essential oils?
So there's different ways to use them. A good blend that I like for supporting hormone balance is 4 drops. I take a 10 milliliter roller bottle and I put 4 drops of those favorites: the lavender, the clary sage, the geranium, and the fennel in the roller bottle. And then I top it off with fractionated coconut oil. And what I do is I roll that on the bottom of my feet. So through the laws of reflexology, your feet are connected to every organ in your body through nerve lines and blood vessels. And so you put them on the bottom of your feet after you crawl in bed. You could also roll it over your liver and your abdomen, as well as on your wrist, which is close to your blood vessels right there, your pulse points. And that's just a really good hormone support blend. So that's probably my go-to.
Yeah. And I like to put them in a diffuser. So I just pretty much have diffuser going on all day. And I just choose different oils, depends on what time of the day is. Like if I need some kind of mental clarity, I choose different oils. Like if I take a bath with Epsom salt, I also put a lot of essential oils. So the one warning is I know that a lot of women just put essential oils straight into the water, right?
Yeah.
But some of my clients, they got burned. I'm like, wow, you have to mix them up with a carrier oil, right?
Yes, yeah. And so safety is always, they are natural compounds, but, you have to be careful and you really need to work with a practitioner or somebody that knows what they're doing. And that's where you'd want to do a health history, or that's what I do with my clients, is do a health history. You have to know, also what medications they're on as well, and teach them how to use them safely and effectively.
Yeah. And another thing, like I use essential oil as a perfumes because perfumes are extremely toxic. And I also have the genetic defect, so my liver detoxification is not working properly. So I literally get nauseous around people who use regular perfumes or any kind of like chemicals, which is not pleasant. So I'm just using them as a perfume, right? And I just put them every so often if I go out, and they smell beautiful. I came up with my blend I really like, and everyone's like, wow, that smells really nice. So this is another way of not using toxic chemicals, right? So
Exactly.
perfumes, and you can use essential oil instead.
Yes, that's true. In fact, it's funny you bring that up because, that perfume that your husband gets you for Valentine's Day isn't necessarily the best thing for your health. And I know they're trying to do a nice thing, but that one word, fragrance, there's so many loopholes in the personal care products laws. They haven't been updated since 1938. That one word, fragrance, which is on the ingredients for a lot of personal care products, but also perfume, can mean up to 3,000 different chemicals, and you don't know what's in it. right? So
Yes, when you think about this, they say that I think women by 9 a.m. put 150 different chemicals just with makeup on their body. So
that
it's,
is true. That
yeah,
is true. Yeah, I've read that as well. So yeah, so essential oils can play a great role in just replacing some of those toxic products as well as detoxifying your home and detoxifying your body as well.
yeah, and when they're like super, they're very easy to use. And even if you want to make the body lotion, like you were saying, and I just melt some coconut oil and I put, drops of essential oils, the one I like, and it's done. It doesn't even take, 2 minutes, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, oh, it's too much work. I mean, it's really not too much work. It's just 2 minutes,
Yeah, I agree. And when selecting essential oils, it's like selecting your food, right? You
Yeah,
want to go high quality. You want to go certified pure therapeutic grade because if you're going to use them for your health, you want them to not be adulterated, not be have the fillers, and to be pure. You want them to be better than organic. You don't want to just go down to the local grocery store and grab an essential oil and put it in your water or
yeah, exactly.
put it in your body for sure because you don't know where it's sourced from. So you don't know if it's going to affect your body in a positive way, and you don't know what's in that bottle. You could read the label, sure, but really you want to have trust and transparency with the company that you're buying from.
Yeah. So what would you say, which are the most popular essential oil for detox?
So there different protocols that I like to use depending on what the person's dealing with. Let's say if they're dealing with a heavy metal toxicity, well, cilantro or coriander would be a good essential oil to go to, and then I would develop a protocol around that. Or if they're dealing with a parasitic infection, then it would be something like an oregano and a clove. Again, you need to work with somebody that knows what they're doing before you start taking them internally.
Right.
But also if you have a specific organ or your lymphatic system, something specific that you're trying to detox, or your kidneys. For instance, my husband got kidney stones, and so a great detox protocol for kidneys would include juniper berry, lemongrass, and lemon, whereas something for the liver may include helichrysum and clove, right? It depends on your goals, but in general, like a good general detox blend would, my favorite go-to would be include grapefruit,
Mm,
lemon, juniper berry, as well as cilantro and rosemary.
mm,
So those 5, and then putting them in a roller bottle and rolling them over my gastrointestinal system, my liver, and put them on my feet.
great.
Yeah.
Well, great. Do you want to share where people can find you and if you have some free gift for us? And I don't know, do you have something else?
Yeah, so they can find me at leannforst.com, and that's LeannForst. I know there's a lot of ways to spell Leann. Leannforst.com, and I have online programs, I have recipe programs, and lots of education on essential oils and detox on there. I do have my 30-day family health makeover,
Mhm.
which helps families get started with detoxifying from those chemical-laden products and foods and cleaning products, and gives them a 9-step program because a lot of people get overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. And I was one of those people. So that's why I developed that program for moms who are basically the health coaches of their families, right? Trying to take care of everybody. And they want to move their family forward on their health path. And so it gives them steps. So every 3 days or so for a 30-day period, you get an email on what to do next. And it's very helpful. So a 30-day family health makeover. And I have if you're more interested in essential oils and learning more about them, I have my 7-day essential oil e-course. And it's training on how to use the top oils for health. And all they have to do is text 7 days of oils, no spaces, just the number 7 days of oils to 44222. And they'll start getting emails over 7 days to take them on a journey of learning essential oils.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited that people want to try different things and especially essential oil because they're great. So it was really nice to have you on my summit.
Well,
And
thank you for having me.
thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.